Today, in honor of St. Valentine's Day, I really was hoping to explore asanas that would create some space across the collarbones. In the front side of the body, we will work with the shoulders. So let's make sure we have our props. We will need 2 blocks and a bolster. And as always, if you don't have these particular props, just look around in your household and see what you can use instead. But let's begin by finding our blocks and placing them behind the back. So 1 block on the medium level, 1 block on the lowest level behind the back. And then the bolster will go on top of those blocks. And then bring your sacrum towards the bolster. And some of you will cross the ankles and keep them crossed. Some of you will extend the legs forward on the ground. Rest your arms on the floor by your sides. And if you haven't already, let your eyelids lower down. And as you close your eyes, let's just begin with extending the arms over the head, finding that nice extension, maybe connecting the hands above the head, maybe finding the elbows with the palms, and enjoying perhaps the deepest inhalation of the day. And as you breathe out, release your arms to the floor by your sides. And if you haven't already, let your eyelids lower down. And as you close your eyes, begin to feel your breath. In particular, notice the sensations of the breath around your heart area. So feel the sensations of the breath around your heart center. And maybe you notice your heart beating. So taking a few moments here to feel the breath unfolding around the heart center. And maybe noticing your heart beating. So there is a podcast that I listened to a couple of years ago. And every once in a while, I remember it. I think it's a very beautiful story. But it's a story about this woman in her late 20s. So a very young woman who needed to have a heart surgery. And it was quite an extensive procedure, and it took a lot of effort to finally get well, and recovery had to do with quite a bit of discomfort and pain. And she finally, after several months, got well. And although her heart was beating normally and she felt fine, she had a very peculiar side effect after the procedure. And the side effect was that her heart was beating very loudly. So she would be in a line in the grocery store, and strangers would turn their heads at her because her heart was beating so fast. And it seemed like everything she did, because she was hearing her heart beating, she was reminded of the hardship that she went through several months ago. And over time, she got quite depressed because she saw the heartbeat being so loud as a constant reminder that there needs to be really a fight for life and a struggle to stay alive. And then at one point, she had to have echocardiogram down. And during this procedure, she kind of saw her heart, the image of her heart, at the corner of her eye, and a thought entered her mind. What if the sound of my heart beating is not a reminder of the hardship? It's a confirmation that I'm alive and I have this moment and I have this breath to enjoy. She realized that her heart was beating to really support her and keep her in this world. So I love this story because I see it as an invitation. In those moments when we experience a heightened volume of our inner experiences, there is a loud emotion or a loud thought or a loud sensation, perhaps we can postpone our impulse to see it as a reminder that we need to struggle for life. And we could see it as a confirmation that yes, we are alive and breathing, and we have a body, and we have a mind, and we have a heart. So as you lie down on your back for the next few moments, I invite you to notice what is the loudest experience right now. Not literally speaking, although there might be some loud sounds going on, but metaphorically speaking, notice what needs your attention as you lie down on your back. I think it was Tara Brach who said, perhaps those loud feelings or thoughts or sensations, perhaps they're our children needing our attention, needing our love. And if we give our attention to them, just let them know that we are there for them, perhaps they're going to stop pulling strings in our lives. So noticing what is the voluminous experience in your body, mind, and heart, and attending to it with maybe even a hint of compassion. If there's any tension in the body or some anxiety in the mind or heart, just taking a moment to attend to this experience with kindness, with compassion, maybe with a phrase, I see you, I love you. Maybe a gesture, maybe you place your hand at the heart center or your belly center, just to let that feeling or sensation know that you care, you are here. Now begin to deepen your breath. And as the breath deepens, welcome gentle movement to the body. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes, guide the chin side to side, side to side. And then perhaps a full body stretch unfolds. Next time you inhale, arms reach over the head, legs reach forward. Deep inhalation. As you breathe out, interlace your fingers underneath your head and let's guide the elbows in towards one another. So now your head is supported by your hands. And maybe move your chin a little side to side, side to side. Next time your chin is moving through the line of the sternum, pause. Begin to engage the front side of the neck. And as you keep the head lifted, lower your hands down so you can push into the floor and slowly, slowly find your way to a tall seat. And you can keep your bolster behind you for now. Rest your hands on your knees or thighs. You can keep your eyes closed for 90% of the class. And let's continue with some cat and cow pulsations. So exhale around your spine, guide your chin in. Inhale, expand your chest, lean forward, hug your spine with the shoulder blades. And please continue for the next, let's say 3, maybe 4 breaths. Noticing the connection of the hands to your knees or thighs. Noticing what area of the spine needs your attention the most tonight. Is it your low back, mid back, or your neck? Eventually find your tall seat and look around, see where your strap is. And of course, if you don't have a strap, you can use a scarf or a belt. So let's continue with our cat and cow exploration, but this time we will hold on to the strap and have your hands about shoulder distance apart. So when you exhale, push your strap forward and lean back with your upper body around your spine. When you inhale, guide your chest towards your strap towards your chest. Draw your elbows back, expand your chest. So just a few more rounds like this. Now, as you move your strap here, see if you can pull onto it gently, as if you're trying to stretch it out a little bit. Coordinating the movement with the breath. Letting the breath to sort of embrace the movement. So even when your chest moves all the way forward, you continue breathing in. And even when you lean all the way back, you continue breathing out. And again, 3 more rounds, 3 more pulsations. Gently pulling onto the strap will emphasize the invitation to feel the shoulders, to feel the heart center, to feel the neck area. All right, now let's come back to the tall seat. You can set your hands on your knees or thighs. Just notice the aftertaste of this little movement we did. And we'll continue exploring the shoulders, but this time we'll do a few shoulder flosses. So let's extend the arms forward again, but this time have the strap quite a bit wider than the shoulder distance apart. Let's lift the arms out and up. Turn your chest to the right. Pull down with your right hand and pin the strap on the floor with your right hand. So now that the strap is stabilized on the floor, inhale and rotate your left shoulder out a little bit. And as you exhale, draw your left shoulder forward and down. And a couple more of these kind of flossing movements. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Maybe one more time. Open and close. So by now you should have some awareness of how the left side of the body is doing. Come back up, lift the arms over the head, and then turn your chest to the left. Pull down with your left hand, pin the strap on the floor. And as you inhale, rotate your right shoulder out. Look to the ceiling from underneath your right upper arm. And as you exhale, lower the arm forward and down. Couple more times, and of course, the closer your hands are to one another, the more of a side stretch you will feel and the more pronounced sensations will be around the right shoulder. Inhale, open, exhale, close. And maybe one more round. Open and close. Great. Come up to your seat, set the strap aside. And once again, rest your hands on your knees or thighs, circle your shoulders a couple of times. Great. So now let's look back and we get to dismantle our props. So set your blocks, set your bolster aside. And please find a route that serves you, the route that would bring you onto the hands and knees first, and then all the way down onto your belly. Then rest your forehead on your hands, bring your palms one on top of the other, and guide your hips side to side, side to side. Just take a moment what it feels like to face the floor
And then another moment to notice the conversation between the belly and the lower back. Maybe emphasize the movement of the belly as you breathe in, as you breathe out. Noticing how your low spine feels as the belly expands a little bit more. So from here, let's bend the left knee and we will form a kind of a frog leg here on the left side. So have your left shin perpendicular to your left thigh. Extend your left arm out to the side and then bend your elbow. So now your forearm is also 90 degrees to your upper arm. Bring your right cheek to the floor, please. And let your head be very, very heavy here. Extend your right arm on the ground next to your torso. And continue noticing the way your belly moves as you breathe and how this movement echoes in your lower back. So we'll stay here for another minute or so, and it's a very gentle stretch for the inner thigh, for the left inner arm. It's a very gentle twist for the upper back, for your cervical spine. But the power of this asana is in its gentle nature. So perhaps you allow the floor hold you right now. If you notice the tendency of the mind to try to squeeze yet another thought in or yet another troubleshooting activity in, perhaps you gently remind yourself that this is the time for me to pause and to simply be alive. I don't need to fix something to be present, to really savor this feeling of aliveness. So perhaps while noticing that tendency of the mind to keep busy, also recognize a possibility of pausing with the breath, with the body, with the sounds that unfold around you, with the very heartbeat. All right, so from here, let's very slowly bring the chin towards the floor. You can probably feel the echo of this asana in your neck. And then bring your right hand to the floor underneath your right shoulder. Lower your left leg down. And then snuggle up your knees as well as your pelvis slightly to the right side, slightly to your right side. This time bend both knees and begin to roll over onto your left hand side, moving the hips a little closer to the right side of the mat. And for some of you, this is not a kind choice to the left shoulder. If that's the case, you can extend your left arm out to the side, having your hand just a little bit below the level of the shoulder. And some of you will keep the thighs stacked. Some of you will lift the right knee, flex the right foot, and press the right foot back towards the wall behind you. And maybe the right foot will stay in the air, maybe the right foot will find the floor. What do we do with the right hand? Well, it can stay on the ground in front of the belly. You can wrap the right arm around your lower back. If you're looking for more of an extension in both arms, you can search for your right ankle or foot with the right hand and then press the foot back. This will be more of a yang asana, the asana that requires some muscular effort, but this might be something you would enjoy as an alternative to really softening with the gravitational pull. So let's share another minute here together. And again, perhaps it's not that our heartbeat is loud, but there is some voluminous experience in the body or the mind or your emotional heart. So I invite you to notice your relationship with that experience. Do you tend to argue with sensation or a thought or a feeling? Do you tend to try to protect yourself from it? And maybe as you stay in this asana for another 30 seconds or so, you take what Mark Napo calls an exquisite risk of allowing the experience to be there. Of course, as long as the sensation is not painful, can you take the exquisite risk and postpone your assumptions around that experience and really look at it as it is? 4 more breaths here, feeling the heart center, feeling the left shoulder, left armpit area. Feeling the way the breath echoes in those spots. Now, when you exhale your 4th time, whenever this might be, very slowly roll over onto your belly. And don't be in a hurry to move your left arm. You can start by wiggling your fingers and then bend your elbow and bring your forehead onto your hands. And again, maybe guide your hips side to side, side to side. Notice how different the two shoulders feel right now. And then bring your hands underneath the shoulders and let's move a little bit again. So circle your shoulders backward, one shoulder at a time. And then circle your shoulders forward, one shoulder at a time. And if you would like to, you can add the movement of the torso. Next time you inhale, lift the chest as you circle your shoulders backward. And then lower your chest down as you circle the shoulders forward. And maybe 1 or 2 more times. Inhale, circle your shoulders backward as you lift the chest. Exhale, circle them forward as you lower the torso down 1 more time. Great. So now let's come back into a little bit of a back bend here. And we will recreate the same position for the left leg that we did just a moment ago. So come up onto your forearms and guide your left knee out to the side. We'll hold it here for a few moments, asymmetrical back bend, asymmetrical sphinx pose. Let's begin by pressing the elbows down, really lengthening the lower back, the thoracic spine, and even the neck. And then try the opposite. Sink into your shoulders. Let your head be heavy. Maybe don't engage your abdominal wall as much as before. And you can see and feel those contrasting sensations. Again, press your elbows down. Lift the chest. Maybe engage your abdominals. Lengthen your neck. And then sink into it. Sink into your shoulders. Lower your head down. Relax your belly. 1 more round. Press down to lift up, to lengthen. And exhale, release. Sink into it. So for the next half a minute or so, you choose which option to hopefully enjoy. Either pressing down to lift up and lengthen, or sink into it and soften, doing the least amount of work possible.
This time, I invite you to notice that every time you breathe, it feels like the lungs are massaging your heart. So explore this conversation between the lungs and the heart. The breath is a common language. If you would like to address the sides of the neck, maybe you move your left ear towards your left shoulder for a few breaths. And then you come back to center and draw your right ear towards your right shoulder. Great. Come back to center. And let's slowly, slowly lower the chest down, bringing the hands one on top of the other, forehead on your hands. Now take your time with extending your left leg back and down, especially if this position of the left leg created a lot of compression on the left side of the spine. And once your legs are extended, notice the aftertaste of that compression on the left side of the lower spine. When two sides of the low back feel balanced or somewhat equal, bring your hands to the floor underneath your shoulders and let's slowly, slowly find the way onto the hands and knees. And then to child's pose, having the knees about hip distance apart, having the big toes connect. So what we will do next is we're going to cross the arms underneath the neck. And I'm going to put my microphone in front of me so you can actually hear me. So for this one, find your way onto your forearms and have your left forearm in front of the right one. Left forearm in front of the right one. And then begin to move your arms, move your hands away from one another. So now your upper arms cross. Press your chin into your left upper arm or bring your forehead onto the block. If this is not a kind choice for your shoulders, you can explore the left side, just the left side. So you can extract your right arm from underneath you. You can extend it forward and then bring your chin onto your left upper arm or the forehead to the floor. So again, either both arms together, left arm is in front, or left arm underneath your throat, right arm in front of you. So noticing the back of the heart now, the back of the physical heart. You might notice the space between the shoulder blades or the space between the left shoulder blade and the spine. Notice how the breath echoes in that area. I carry a lot of tension in my shoulders. This is the spot where I carry my stress. And even though this is a wonderful shoulder stretch, I tend to carry tension throughout this stretch. And it takes me quite a bit of time to soften into it. But what I keep discovering from practice to practice is just by bringing some gentle, curious attention to the area of tension, tension begins to soften. So we can take this exquisite risk and address the experience just like it is. Letting tension be there, letting boredom or anticipation make itself known. Maybe you say, I see you, tension, or I see you, boredom. It's okay, you don't have to go away, we can coexist.
Again, noticing how perhaps with some gentle attention, something in you softens. All right, let's begin to slowly lift the head. Release your arms from underneath you and find your tabletop position. Couple of rounds of cat and cow pulsation, rounding the spine as you exhale, expanding the chest as you breathe in. Maybe 2 more times. If there's any other movement that is calling you right now, please find it instead. Maybe you circle your shoulders as you keep your pelvis stable. All right, so let's explore the same little sequence on the other side. Return onto your belly. Rest your forehead on your hands, one palm on top of the other. Guide your pelvis side to side, side to side. And we will find that frog leg position for the right side. So bend your right knee and guide your knee out to the side, having a 90 degrees angle, shin to thigh. And of course, if the floor is a bit hard on your inner knee, you can find a blanket or just a piece of clothing to put underneath the inner knee. Now form your cactus arm on the right side. So extend your right arm out. Then bend your right elbow, forearm is 90 degrees to your upper arm. And turn your left cheek to the floor as you extend your left arm on the ground next to your torso. We'll stay here for about a minute, maybe a minute and a half. Allowing the head be heavy, allowing the shoulders soften to the floor. Noticing sensations in your left hand, the tingling, the pulse as an echo of your heartbeat. And perhaps right now, as you stay in this asana, you consider that you are as deserving of love and affection and compassion as any precious child. Sometimes it's difficult to offer ourselves compassion and love, but these mechanisms, these offerings, they are already built in our DNA. Another phrase that I really like is, we are not the survival of the fittest, we are survival of the nurtured. So we carry the capacity for compassion and self-compassion included in our DNA, but sometimes we need a little extra help to awaken those processes. So again, imagine that you are as deserving of love and affection and compassion as any precious child. Let's stay here for 3 more breaths. And as you keep your right arm just as it is, turn your chin towards the ground. You can keep your nose lifted, of course. Now lower your right leg down, slowly, and bring your left hand to the floor near your shoulder. Snuggle up your hips and your legs over to the left side a little bit. And then bend both knees and begin to roll over onto your right hand side. And then you might need to move your hips a little closer to the left side of the mat. Let your head rest on the floor. If having the elbow bend is not comfortable at all, extend your arm out to the side. Having your hand just a little bit below the level of the shoulder, and then either keep your thighs stacked like this, or lift your left knee, flex your left foot, and press your left foot back behind you. The foot can be in the air or it can find the floor. In the left hand, you can rest it on the floor, you can rest it on your belly. Sometimes I like to massage my belly when I'm in this position. You can wrap your arm around your lower back. You can hug or catch your left foot or ankle with your palm. Press the foot back, keeping the head either on the floor or a block if possible. So there is no unpleasant torque in the left on the left side of the neck. It really takes practice and time to effortlessly offer ourselves self-compassion in the moments of uncertainty or discomfort of some sort, physical, emotional, psychological. And again, good exercise to explore from time to time, I think, is imagine how, if your friend, if your good friend or loved one was experiencing that sensation or that feeling or that circumstances, how would you talk to them? What words of comfort would you offer to them? Continue noticing the way the breath echoes in your lower belly, in your lower back. Continue noticing the conversation of the lungs and the heart. So let's share 3 more breaths here, wherever here is for you. If bending the left knee is a bit tough on the knee, you can extend your leg and still move it back. All right, as you exhale your 3rd time, very slowly roll over onto your belly. And maybe start the movement of the right arm by wiggling of the fingers. Maybe just let the arm rest for a few moments. And then bring your hands one on top of the other, forehead on your hands, guide your hips side to side, side to side. Then bring your hands underneath the shoulders and let's circle the shoulders backward a few times. And circle them forward a few times. And maybe lift the chest as you circle your shoulders backward, one shoulder at a time. And lower the shoulders and the chest down as you circle the shoulders forward. And maybe once or twice more, unless you prefer to have your belly, your chest on the floor for the whole time. All right. Whenever you're ready, find your way onto your elbows. And this will be the last back bend of the practice. And recreate your frog legs. So guide your right knee out to the side and have about a 90 degrees angle of the shin and the thigh. Now again, let's explore the 2 variations of this asymmetrical back bend. And the first one is when we really press the elbows down and the abdominal wall hugs the lower back, abdominals engage, chest lifts, neck lengthens. And as you exhale, really sink into your shoulders and let your head be heavy and relax your belly. So a couple more, press down to lift up. And as you exhale, lower down, sink into it. And maybe one more time, press down to lift up. And then sink into it, lower down. So now you get to choose which option you prefer. It seems like for me, pressing down and lifting the chest a little bit
is the better choice for the low back. So about a minute or so here. So we were comparing some feelings, some emotions, some thoughts to children. I like to think of them as toddlers sometimes. And you know how it is with a toddler. When they are upset and they throw a tantrum, they, really sometimes need or think they need your reaction. But then if you react to it, they tend to get even more upset. And so, just as sometimes with a toddler, sometimes the best thing to do with those toddler like emotions or feelings or thoughts is to let them know that you're there for them, that you're listening, you're there, you offer them your gentle, kind presence, but it doesn't mean you're going to react to them. It doesn't mean you're going to give in to that energy. So let's stay here for, let's say, maybe 4 more breaths. Again, offering yourself this strong and yet compassionate shoulder to lean on. Maybe you even whisper to yourself in your mind, I am here, don't matter what, and I'm not going anywhere. Whatever appears in my mind, body, or heart, I'm not abandoning myself. I'm here for myself. All right. Now, very, very slowly lower your chest down. Bring your hands one on top of the other. Draw the right leg down. And notice that aftertaste of the previous asymmetrical back bend. Maybe guide your hips side to side. Maybe windshield wiper your shins. And now we get to go back to a nice forward fold. So bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Press yourself up onto your hands and knees. And then come back to child's pose with your knees about hip distance apart. Big toes connected. We'll pause in child's pose for a few breaths. Enjoying, hopefully, that expansion, that extension in the low spine, expansion in the kidneys area. And then find your way onto your forearms. So this time we are going to place the right forearm in front of the left one. And we move the hands away from one another until the upper arms cross. And then we press the chin into the right upper arm. And of course, if this is not happening, you can keep right arm underneath your throat and the left arm extended forward. You can still press the chin into your right upper arm, or maybe rest your forehead on a block or another prop. So just a moment ago, the front side of the body was so spacious, and now there is compression. But the back of the body now is so spacious and open. So perhaps the back of the body, especially the back of the heart, could receive a little deeper inhalations. Letting the whole body soften a little bit as you breathe out. I didn't offer you this option before, but better late than never. If your arms are crossed, you can bend your elbows and give yourself a hug. You can perhaps interlace the fingers or at least connect your fingers behind you. Maybe massage the space between the shoulder blades and the spine. Maybe give it a little scratch. We'll find 3 more breaths here.
All right, so majority of our focus today so far has been in the shoulders, in the spine, and maybe towards the end of the practice we can address the hips a little bit. So begin to slowly, slowly lift the chest just enough to untie your arms and come back onto your hands and knees. And let's circle the shoulders a few times backward and maybe a few times forward. Maybe a few rounds of cat and cow pulsation. Maybe some other movement that would serve your knees, your hamstrings, your lower back. All right. So find your neutral spine again, and let's move the right knee towards the right wrist. And then snuggle up your left leg back far enough so you can start noticing that extension on the right outer thigh. Now, if this is, again, a very unkind choice for your left knee, for your right knee, you can shift your weight over to the right side, bend your left knee more, and guide it out to the side. So kind of this is called deer pose. And then wherever your left leg is, knee bent or leg extended, walk your hands a little further apart, maybe mat distance apart, maybe wider. And I guess we cannot quite let go of the shoulder exploration. Let's lower the left shoulder down, turn your gaze to the right. Inhale, lift the chest, extend your arms. And as you exhale, lower your right shoulder down, turn your gaze to the left. And let's try it again. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. And as you exhale, lower down onto your forearms or stay on your hands. If you are on your forearms, maybe you bring your forehead onto your hands or a block. And of course, for those yogis who prefer to lie down on the back for this position, you can recreate a very similar posture with figure four, maybe interlacing the fingers at the shin, maybe the left hamstrings. Perhaps you experiment with moving that right foot a little higher, a little closer to the front side of the mat. But let the decision of how to position the foot, let this decision come from self-care, not from self-assertiveness, but from self-care. So again, taking this exquisite risk and setting our assumptions about the right knee, right hip, right foot, right ankle, setting those assumptions aside and really seeing how it is, the condition of the right hip today. How can I care for this hip? How can I position my right foot that this position is an expression of care? As you stay in your pigeon pose or figure four position, feel free to move your hips a little side to side, side to side. And again, we will share 3 more breaths, one slow breath at a time. Now, if you're lying down on your back, extend your legs, extend your arms, maybe find a full body stretch. Otherwise, come up onto your fingertips, lift your chest, look up. Shift the weight over to the right side, guide your left leg out, around, and forward. Let's cross the ankles if you're lie down on your back. Give your knees a hug. Otherwise, find a couple of rounds of cat and cow pulsation. And we'll come back to the neutral position. So switch sides at your own time whenever you feel ready. And to switch sides here, we shift the weight over to the left, guide the right leg out, around and back, maybe keeping the knee bent and facing the side wall. Maybe extending the right leg all the way back. Maybe finding that figure four on the left side. If the chest is facing the floor, walk your hands wide apart and lower your right shoulder down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And one more time, lift and lower down. So again, stay on your hands or lower down onto your forearms. Maybe bring your forehead to your palms or the block or the bolster. If you do have a bolster, sometimes it's nice to place it underneath the chest, underneath the belly here. So finding position of the upper body where the upper body doesn't take away from the lower body, since the lower body is intended to be the main focus of this asana. So again, perhaps it's not a competition, not necessarily with others, but with yourself. It's not about, how flexible my hips can be or how good I can feel in my body and mind. But the joy of being comes from that desire to nurture and to care and to offer some compassion and love. And that means, at least in this practice, that again, we really take a look at how things are without sugarcoating it right now. Close your eyes and see what is here, not just through your eyes, but through your whole body, mind, and heart. What is the most voluminous aspect of your experience? What is the loudest one? What does this experience need from you? Does it need your attention? Does it need a word of encouragement? Or maybe it needs a little space. So perhaps you leave it alone and focus on your breath. But again, let it know. Let the sensation or thought or feeling know that you are here for it. Let's stay here for 4 more breaths, one at a time. All right. Whenever you're ready, whenever your 4th breath is fading away, come back onto your hands if you're not there already. Otherwise, release your legs if you're on your back. Find a full body stretch or come up onto your fingertips and find a little bit of a back bend again. Shifting the weight to the left, guiding the right leg out, around and forward, maybe crossing the ankles, maybe extending the legs forward. And once more, finding your cat and cow pulsation or staying on your back and giving your knees a hug as you roll side to side. All right, we'll get to experience our abdominal wall. Next, extend your legs, extend your arms. If you are already on your back, well, you will just skip this abdominal strengthening movement. So otherwise, extend your arms forward and imagine you're holding onto a thick rope with your hands. Begin to climb this rope down very, very slowly, one vertebrae by one. When the back of the head finds the floor, and eventually it will, Extend the arms over the head, find a full body stretch. And then let's all bend the knees, give them a hug, and gently roll side to side. Some of us find happy baby pose. Some of us bring the hands to the knees and guide them wide apart for an inner thigh stretch, which is also a variation of happy baby position. Roll side to side, just like all the happy babies do. And whenever you feel inspired, release your legs. Look around, see where your bolster is, and place the bolster underneath your knees. If you feel a little chilly, maybe you look around, see where your blanket is, and cover your body with a blanket. Maybe you reach for a piece of clothing to put on. So since we started a little later, I think 7 minutes later, if you already need to leave the practice, thank you so much for joining us. If you still have 3 to 5 minutes, please enjoy Shavasana. So finding the position of the arms and legs where the body feels supported, where the body feels effortless. Letting the eyelids lower down. And as your eyes close, notice the aftertaste of the practice in your body. Allowing the practice begin to dissolve. Allowing yourself to really savor the benefits of the practice. The body is being held. The body is being breathed. The body is resting. No effort is required. And as we stay here for the next 3 minutes or so, I will guide you through the practice of loving kindness, keeping your eyes closed. Think of a person close to you who loves you very much. It could be someone from the past or the present, someone still in life, or someone who has passed. It could be a spiritual teacher or a guide. Imagine that person standing in front of you, sending you their love. That person is sending you wishes for your safety, for your well-being and happiness. Feel the warmth. Feel the warm wishes and love coming from that person towards you. And now imagine that you are surrounded on all sides by all the people who love you and have loved you. Picture all of your friends and loved ones surrounding you. They're standing, sending you wishes for your happiness, well-being, and health. Bask in the warm wishes and love coming from all sides. And now picture a person that you love, perhaps a relative or a friend, and begin to send love that you feel back to that person. You and this person are similar, just like you. This person wishes to be happy and have a good life.
Send all your love and warm wishes to that person. Repeat the following phrase silently in your mind. Just as I wish, may you live with ease. May you be happy. May you be safe and healthy. Addressing these words to that person that you love dearly. And now think of an acquaintance, someone you don't know very well and toward whom you do not have any particular feeling. It could be a neighbor or a colleague or someone else that you see around but you don't know very well. You and this person are alike. You are alike in your wish to have a good life. Like you, this person wishes to experience joy and happiness in his or her life. Send all your wishes for well-being to that person, repeating the following phrase silently. Just as I wish to, may you live with ease. May you be happy. May you be safe and healthy. Now, if it feels safe, think of someone that you may not get along with. It may be someone that you have long-standing difficulties with. Call the difficult person to mind and be honest about what you feel. There may be a feeling of discomfort. So notice any tendency you may have to think badly of that person or deepen the conflict you have with them. And for a moment, let go of these tendencies and instead wish them well, repeating the following phrase silently. Just as I wish, may you live with ease. May you be happy. May you be safe and healthy. Now expand your awareness and picture the whole globe in front of you as a little ball. Send warm wishes to all living beings on the globe who, just like you, want to be happy. Just as I wish to, may you live with ease. May you be happy. May you be safe and healthy. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. And another deep breath in and let it go. Notice your state of mind and how you feel after this meditation. Allow a few moments of silence. Begin to deepen your breath. And as the breath deepens, welcome gentle movement to your hands, your feet, arms, legs, face,
neck. If you're not quite ready to leave Shavasana, stay here for as long as you would like to. Thank you for joining us. Otherwise, extend your arms over the head. Find that full body stretch. And as you breathe out, release your arms down, bend your knees, and roll over onto the side that is calling you at the moment. Pause there. And now very slowly, with the help of your arms, begin the journey to the upright seat. Take your time coming up. And as we find our tall spine, let's bring the hands to the heart center. Left palm first, then the right palm. Feel your hands on your chest. Feel your presence at where your hands are right now. Let's find a deep breath in. Let it go. Thank you, yogis, for practicing together, for breathing together. May you be well. Namaste.